Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with the final race of the Gran Turismo 7 Nations Cup 2022 Exhibition Season 3. It's a very catchy name that they've given this series, and today we've actually got a fantastic combo. Sardegna, I think it's Road Track A in the GT, well, technically it's GT2 cars, but it's the old GT1s. Pretty much everyone is going to be rocking the Mercedes-AMG CLK, of course, the car that famously took off at Le Mans. But honestly, around here, it's a brilliant combo. Make sure you get yourself subscribed if you want to enjoy. Let's jump in. It's actually a longer race as well. We've got 20 laps ahead of us, so we're going to be just over half an hour, which I absolutely love to see as well. I don't know whether we're going to get one more exhibition series after this or whether then we're jumping into the real stuff for 2023, but I'm looking forward to this race either way. Well, qualifying has not been a particularly good showing here, way off the pace that I know I've been able to do in this car. Certainly wouldn't have the pace to match the front runners, but felt like I should have been into the 31s. It's only a 32.9. Sorry, felt like I could have been close to a 31. So that last lap, you know, we did find a second there, which just bumped us back up. But yeah, this is going to be a tough old race. Right, well, this is going to be a very interesting race. Then 20 laps ahead of us here from Sardegna. It does, like I said, feel like a brilliant combo when you get it hooked up. A couple of actual GT2 cars, or GT500 cars, I should say, just behind us. But let's do this thing, though. Rounding out of the final corner. Finally, a bit of a longer race as well. Gran Turismo, they're listening to us, and I do genuinely appreciate it. But yeah, hopefully we can try and finish off the Nations Cup with a good result here. Starting P9, hopefully we can finish top half of the pack. 5 red lights, and it is lights out, and away we go there. And actually starting behind the Nissan Nismo there, and look how much extra speed we've got. As we head down in towards someone, they're immediately pulling to his outside. Will we get any room on the outside? No, I think, whoa, someone's coming very hot there down our inside. And we've just got to try and stay out of the way there, the Italian there, as we head through the first couple of turns. But yeah, I mean, it will be, you know, I thought fairly close. Look at that, he's going for it again. Mate just wants to take the GTR out, apparently, as we head our way through the next couple of turns. Just clip the back end of the guy in front of me, or I think actually started right up towards the front of the field, so it might be worth, trying to follow him perhaps past some other cars. It's that corner you can always get on the throttle so much earlier than I ever think you can. It is a weird little combo, of course, where I've never really, I don't think I've actually ever driven this layout of Sardegna before. You know, it is quite a learning experience, of course. These old GT1 cars, do handle very differently as well. Of course, they've got quite a lot of downforce right where you don't expect it there, as we'll just slide back up then. So with all the chaos and carnage going on this opening lap, I'm still exactly where I started this race, which I think is rather impressive, hopefully. Of course, nowhere for us to go. It happens in an instant. Guy in front of me bins it, and I just cannot do anything there. As another Italian, I mean, that other Brit has been, whoa, everyone's crashing apparently down in that final corner, and I'm still in P9, exactly where I started. Got to use the mediums and the hards throughout this race, so it's probably going to be 8 or 9 laps on the mediums, and then of course try to go to the end on the hard compound tyres there, so we just got to get rid of this front damage. It is slowly but surely shifting away. But yeah, hopefully that will get rid quite soon. We can try and match Red Fox in front of me, or as close to match him as I can. Like I said, I'm pretty certainly qualified right up towards the front, so he is a quick driver. I've got to learn his lines. So, there we go. Nissan's gone round. That'll be us actually now gaining places in this race. I'll take it, as someone either has the biggest lead I've ever seen, or is almost a lap down already. That is rather impressive. I'm so sorry there. I will let him keep the place. Just got ever so slightly late on the brakes. And of course Gran Turismo does like to throw contact around. Like you nudge someone like that, and it decides to send them to the shadow around there. Again, picked up a little bit of front bumper damage that will hopefully be removed rather soon. But I was just about to say how Red Fox and I seemed to set the pace last time round, but of course you don't know what tyres other cars are using towards the front of the field. Often it's not particularly uncommon on GT7 to see people go hards, then mediums, in these sorts of races. But yeah, damage has gone away again. We'll just, like I said, keep trying to stay in his slipstream. But tyre wear as well, early on, isn't looking as bad as I thought it would. Oh, that corner is so lethal. So lethal, and then this thing's got the turning circle of a small planet. Come on, just go round one way or the other. You're just... Wait, just... I'm literally blipping the throttle. What is that? Oh, this game, it can be so fun, but still so frustrating. There is literally just sat at 20% throttle, and it's just sat wheel spinning. I don't get how that works, but I'll be able to get back around the Nissan out of the final corner. We'll swoop back through there. We've got another car all over my gearbox as well, so we need to try and break free. But yeah, immediately then, that's just 20 seconds gone in an instant. But we've got to keep going. We can still definitely get back to where I started in this race, like I said. No, I can't. I'm just going to get absolutely shadow around, am I, down at turn 1? Thanks for that. We are... Great. We are now last. About 2 laps at a 1 minute 50 or slower there. So frustrating how these races can so quickly turn away from you. And you think in an AS lobby, you wouldn't have people doing that down at turn 1. You know, lap 1, I can understand, you know, things happen, but... You know, a few laps into a race like that, someone just absolutely shadow rams you and just carries on driving. So frustrating, but as I said, if we can try and pick up a couple of places by the enemy, we are still taking a fair chunk of time out of the 2 cars in front of us. I think, though, unless others... I mean, there is the potential that others face chaos and carnage as well, but top 10 might be all we can really muster. Oh, and I see one of them spinning around. We got yellow flags. This corner is, like I said, just so lethal in these cars, and there it is. I think that is the Nissan again, though, rather than one of the other CLKs. It's an interesting couple of cars to mix together. I will give Gran Turismo that, but it does kind of make sense. I can see where they were going with it. But yeah, tyres are really now starting to fade. They don't, of course, it's always a bit weird. You never quite know how they're going to drop off on Gran Turismo. I mean, look at that. That must not be fun racing that car, but suddenly we've set a new personal best. Back down towards someone there. He should be able to brake later than me, which he does. He's carrying so much less speed into the corner. But yeah, we've got to try and find a way around this GTR sooner rather than later. I still want to try and get back up to the Italian, to be completely honest. It's not able to carry much more speed through the corners, though. It definitely just is a slower car than this thing. So clearly the GT2 BOP on Gran Turismo needs a bit of checking there, as we'll get to the inside for the hairpin. Try and brake late on the inside there, keep the car to the apex, and then allow it to run nicely off the exit there. 12 seconds up to the Italian up the road there, as you can see, even with the slipstream, how much he's losing up the straights. But at least I'm not last anymore. We've just got to nurse the tyres. Great. I've been pushed again. Come on, this is a licensed GT. And the fact that people aren't getting penalties either, that sort of thing, is so frustrating. It just sends us back another 3 seconds. We are just in an uphill battle. We will take a bit back a little bit about the penalty then. Looks like he has picked up a 2-second one for doing that, but yeah, still doesn't really help me out much. I know sometimes it's racing, but it just seems to happen so much on this game still. There we go. He's going to have to serve that penalty now, so we should be able to claim the place. We're back again into P11, but we're still 12 seconds back behind the Italian. So we are definitely quicker than them. I mean, there is another car in front of them, Shadow of a Ghost, who seems to be struggling. We've just got to try and stay on it. But we're probably going to boxing into this one then. Pretty much half distance on these mediums. Has not been too bad. Am I going to get sent? No, I'll chuck it through the corner and make sure he's nowhere near me. Quite surprised to see the fact that pace has maintained quite nicely in these medium tyres, but heading into the pit lane then we'll go, make sure we get between the white lines, make sure I select the hards. We don't need any fuel to see us through either there, but yeah, we are going to re-emerge them right at the rear of the field in this race. But like I said, I think P9 is still possible. We could definitely get closer. Car does look stunning, doesn't it? These old Mercedes. I mean, listen to that. As it sits down the pit lane there, big V8 engine, just the creme de la creme of Mercedes power. Well, the Nissan's into the pits. The Italian that was just in front of me is certainly dropping back rather rapidly as well. Clearly not confident with the car underneath them at the moment. We can still see Shadow of a Ghost a bit further up the road. So back into P11 then. It might be that the guy behind is a bit quicker towards the end, but still I can't imagine that GTR is going to stand much of a chance. I mean, we're back down into the 34s, so I still feel like we have got very, very good pace in this car. It certainly wouldn't have been enough, you know, to fight right at the front, but I feel like you see that huge gaggle on the mini-map just behind. That's where I could have been fighting here today. You know, I think we certainly could have been in that group. I think the guy in front of me might have made a mistake. Yes, he has again. This, of course, is the Italian that sent me off down at turn 1. So certainly will be a nice feeling when I get the move done on him. There is a little Swede into the pit lanes. I think that might be the second time he's pit today, so not too sure whether just not happy on the hards or wasn't able to take the mediums as far as everyone else there. But might bring us a bit closer to them then late on in the afternoon. So we're going to try and get a run then back down in towards turn 1. We're already back up into 10th place there. New fastest lap of the day. This will therefore be for 9th. Nice and tidy on the brakes. Get the car wedged over the curbing. And we will be back through then. Up another spot. Chalova goes 7 seconds up the road. So it might mean that we can still make progress in this one, as long as I don't now get shadow rammed again, breaking very, very late into that. Just try and cover off. And I think, hopefully, with a nice run off the corner, we might now have broken free from the Italians, so that's good. Still got 6.5 laps to go then, to try and take out pretty much 7 seconds. This is not over. We can definitely still get closer, but of course now we're going to have the Swedish guy, who's probably going to be quicker than us right the way through to the end. Right, come on then. 5 laps to go. Gap down to 4 seconds. As I'm actually monitoring the gap to the leader. That's staying pretty level at the moment as well. There is another new personal best for the day. So we really have had some good pace here. Just no luck once again on Gran Turismo 7. But yeah, I think it might come down to the wire between myself and the guy in front. But I think he is struggling at the moment as we're still setting good competitive times. Come on, we can do this, I believe. It might just be the Spaniard at the front of the field that's struggling, because now we've got other cars setting new personal bests down into the 131s there, so 2 seconds slower than some people around here. I can see how I could find another few tenths or so, but yeah, 2 seconds is absolutely mad, unless of course he is on the mediums rather than the hards, which a couple of people might be, so that might make up for sort of a second or so of it. But yeah, I really do think, of course, now I've been promoted up to A on GT7. You know, unless we get some really good combos that suit me. Of course, if we want to progress much further, we're going to have to really start grinding this game out, which at the moment, maybe with the new Manufacturers and Nations Cup, if we do the official seasons, then I'll probably be a lot more tempted to. But for these sorts of races, I don't really see much point, especially when they can come away from you so easily. Just noticed as well, I'm up into P8 then, so we've got another rage quit further up the road. So, yeah, you know, I said early on P7 would be nice. We might still be able to get there. So that corner is, whoa, definitely scary when you hit the curb like that. Never done that before in practice. But 3 laps to go, the gap down to 1.5 seconds. Whoa, come on, we can do this. A nice slipstream as we head up the back straight. Well, it's not really a straight, but you know what I mean. Come on. Just got to see if we can apply some pressure there. Looks like it always looks like with these CLKs that the rear lights are absolutely destroyed most of the time. I don't know whether it's just Gran Turismo 7 or what. But I thought then he's got permanent rear end damage or something on that car, but he definitely won't. But yeah, I mean, these things are, you know, just a quick mention, a quick shout out to the CLK. And obviously this is the LM spec car, but, you know, absolute dream car material. You know, I could quite happily, if there are any subscribers out there, for example, that do have one of these cars sitting in their garage gathering dust, and you do fancy giving it away, I will happily take it off your hands, it must be said. But yeah, beautiful pieces of machinery, of course, back from the late 90s when GT1 was going absolutely mental. Of course, you know, you had some absolute missiles of road cars being built. You know, this thing, the Nissan R390, of course the McLaren F1 as well, slightly different circumstances but similar sort of vein. It was a wild, wild time, and of course the old Porsche as well. Can't quite remember. I know it was just called the Porsche GT1. I can't quite remember off the top of my head. But anyway, now you can see Shadow the Ghost having to go a little bit defensive on me as we head down in towards the back straight. I'm just going to get squeezed out there, but he actually does give me some room. Brilliant side-by-side racing as we're going to now head back up the hill. Well, I think we've just about got the legs on him. I think we're just going to be able to slot through. And yes, we have. Will he try and look for something down in towards the hairpin? We'll wait and see. Yes, he is. Goes back up the inside. Whoa! Thought he was all the way through there, but instead I'll help him carry some extra speed through the corner there. Try and tip him in towards the apex as we head back up the hill. Just got to be really, really careful up through here, or he runs a little bit offline on the way in. Compromises his run. We get very, very close to the wall, and that will be the one to try and have a look to the inside. Then he's going to try and go defensive. We'll sit on the inside, make sure that we give him some room on the exit. No, he's touched the grass. He's looped it round, and I think that will mean as we get ready to start the final lap of this race, it is going to be a lonely finish there. 30 seconds back from the cars in front. So I definitely had things gone, you know, having not lost like 40 seconds or so, being up round Loren and Ivo, but I think, yeah, we're just going to have to try and bring home P5. Got to be careful on the throttle. Still out of the final corner, though, towards the start-finish line. Looks like we were still quicker than Loren up the road, but it is going to be Gabri that takes the win there ahead of two of our fellow Brits. But out of the final corner, 33 minutes later, we are going to survive this race here in Sardegna, and like I said, we have been able to make up some places as well, so can't complain too much about that one. Thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed as well, and we will be back very, very soon with more Gran Turismo 7 content.